So there is a sheet that Shreya has also put together. I'll share that with you first. This is similar to what you might have seen, when we did the endangered animals campaign.
Oh, yes.
So I want to play her video and then we can continue to look at the sheet.
Okay, that's fine.
Hello. So this will be a 3-month long event, and in the roadmap I have delegated 4 to 5 topics to each month. Like for first week we'll have one topic, second week we'll have another topic. So in the first week we'll start with a discussion on single-use plastic. It will be an introduction kind of thing. Youngsters will choose their own one plastic product of their choice, and then they'll have a discussion around it, like seeing the range of plastic products that all of them have chosen. They'll have a discussion around it. Then we'll move forward and talk about the importance of plastic in some particular areas. I have chosen 5 areas, and I have written the activity in front of it, as you can see in the Excel sheet. Then we'll move to formation of microplastic, and we'll talk about the 2 types of microplastic and how are they, what are the carriers and everything. So in the first month, youngsters will develop a deep understanding about like how does plastic.
Oh, I lost the audio.
Youngsters will develop a deep understanding of what does plastic actually consist. Youngsters will develop a deep understanding of what does plastic actually consist of, why is it important, and what are the particular components of plastic that cause pollution. Then after that, in the second month, that is October, we'll moving on to the impacts, like it has an impact on terrestrial ecosystem, aquatic ecosystem, and human bodies. So first we'll be covering the aquatic ecosystem, and we have 3 activities within it. First is extempore eco adventure, which is that youngsters will imagine a journey of a tiny microplastic particle, and that microplastic particle will be from the plastic product that they chose in the first activity in September. So they'll imagine their journey, and their journey from the city to the oceans. So that will be the extempore, and then it's the story time. And then I have taken a case study of Henderson Island, which is one of the largest plastic islands in the world. So then we'll move to terrestrial ecosystems. There we'll cover 2 topics. First is how microplastic affect the soil, and how microplastic affect terrestrial animals. So how for the topic from industries to soil, I'm yet to decide of an activity. And for impact on terrestrial animals, youngsters will have to take up case studies from different countries. Like we'll assign them the countries, and then they'll have to take up case studies and research about everything, that how it impacts animals' health. And I have written an example also there, that what around what areas they'll have to work on. Then in the last month, we'll focus on impact of microplastic on the human bodies, and after that we'll move on to waste management system, like the current waste management system, and then examining existing solutions, which will include youngsters. Like youngsters will be asked to examine the current policies and find innovative solutions in their place, find loopholes in those policies and everything. Like for example, India's ban on single-use plastic, like why in some regions of India that policy was a fail. And the last topic that I have thought of, is let's fill the gaps. Like after understanding the importance of plastic and its detrimental impact, youngsters will now brainstorm and come up with solutions and find a sustainable middle ground. Like now what should be done, because obviously we can't do away completely with the plastic industries, and plastic does have a very, very detrimental impact. So what can be done? So this is the roadmap that I have thought of. The activities in some topics haven't been decided yet, and so yeah, that is it. Thank you.
That's tremendous. It's just tremendous, all of you. Wonderful. What I got a lot out of it. I really love the idea of this tracing the journey of the plastic. It's beautifully done. So you could even think of something like an infographic or even a little short 2-minute clip, if someone can do an animation. If you have the right
Yes, we have the resources.
Yes. Okay, good. If you have the right reason. Otherwise, we can help with that. Then the other thing is, what is the end activity? Are you going to write to your legislators? What are the policy decisions? Are you going to end? What is the end goal of it?
Yeah, so I'm going to pull this back a little bit. I think this is 3 months of not ending on the kind of campaign that we discussed. So I think the last 15 days, we want to dedicate on running parallel, or like the last 1 week would be, running the parallel campaigns, but the week before would be preparing for that campaign, which would be an on-ground campaign of whatever they've discovered that, locally, what needs to be done. So in their local areas. And for that, there would be, the 1 week of thinking of, what kind of thing they want to do, whether it is, approaching a local legislator, or it's talking to a group of people, or it's going to some classrooms, whatever that is. So there will be a choice of different kinds of, campaigns, which we will ideate, which we will sow the seeds of, but allow them also to conceive of, more ways in which they want to reach the society.
Yes.
And in the last week, whatever they do, we will also ask them to video, tape all of that, and prepare for a social media campaign about that, even after the 3rd month, maybe another 15 days or so.
Yeah. So, yeah, and you can also think of, and this is just a suggestion, whatever you do, even if it's just writing to legislators, you could take really beautiful pictures of either the emails or the letters sent, or people actually mailing them, and that can also be a really good add-on to the campaign. So,
wonderful.
Yeah.
Another
so
thing which
in other words, what you're saying is you haven't decided what let's just call it on the ground action is going to be.
Yes.
They'll arrive at that as they go along. They'll formulate what that's going to be. Am I right?
Yes. So actually give them a week to think of, based on what is the thing that they want to change, then come up with how do they want to contribute to that change on ground, how do they want to be the advocate for that change. So it has to be around advocacy, but how do they want to be the advocate of that change? And there are some obvious ways, and there are some innovative ways. Either which way, they will decide that, and we will help them plan, help them execute it as well. In the process,
yes.
In the process, what we also want to do is, we also want to include, the monsters that we have. We may have only 20 people participating, for example, but we want this to be with about 100 people. So maybe each one brings 5, kind of thing, in different cities.
Oh,
so
I see.
Monsters.
Yeah.
And they form a
and
group.
Even if you retain 2 of them, it's still a big plus. Yeah.
No, I'm not necessarily saying the other 4 are potential monsters. It's just that they form a group. So they lead, each of the monsters leads a campaign.
Right.
And that becomes a 20-city pilot, for us.
Yeah.
Or a 20 location pilot. And then, other things can follow.
Yeah. Okay. No, that sounds really good. And when we do the larger one next year, you guys can either follow the same model or do a different model. But whatever
this will be a learning. This will form a learning, from here, definitely.
Learning curve. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It is wonderful that you are focusing at least some attention on the learning of it, on the going into the topic in depth, because that'll stay with them. It'll stay with them, and it'll make them better advocates, honestly, in the long run. More thoughtful, advocates. Yeah. Like it. Yeah.
Right. Wonderful. You have some suggestions on, how Kimfer can,
Support you. So we
add
can
value.
support,
Yeah.
add value. Yeah. Okay, let's call it that, add value or support. So what we can do is, if I was there on the ground, of course, I could take on some mentorships, but because I'm not, and the month of September is pretty much shot for me. I'll be in the US with my sister, taking care of my mom's ashes.
I think now we are looking at more like November.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Then I'll be totally available remotely. But what we can do, our team, and I need to introduce you to some of them, is that we can support you with creating small movie clips for you, we can do the sort of advocacy clip that we created for the Kaza elephants, that type of thing, which is highly effective. It's short, it's powerful. A lot of the content can be either derived off, the Creative Commons, or it can be, it depends on the kids. If they and their parents are okay with featuring their voices or faces on social media. But you can do a clip where there's little, beat plastic pollution, where the kids are saying this, different kids are saying this. And if it goes fast, it's really powerful.
Right.
I'm sorry, I don't want to call them kids. The Wongsters.
Yes, I was going to correct you on that.
Yes,
Oh God,
I'm sorry.
Remember.
I'm like a mom. I'm like a mom. Okay, think of me as a mom. Kiddos, the Wongsters, the young adults. Okay, if they, you see, Nitin, I corrected myself. Aren't you proud of me?
Yeah, no,
So,
I wasn't sure if I told you that before, but yeah, I mean, you remember.
yes,
And there
no,
is a
I didn't
reason,
remember
no?
that, but I caught myself saying this, and I thought, no, there's a Wongster here. I shouldn't be, because a lot
She's
of
not a Wongster, she's a Wongle.
Wongle.
Yeah. So Wongster is like the young Dalai Lama, who we
Oh,
have
I
faith.
see, the guru, the guru.
That's, yeah, the guru. So they have they are just manifesting themselves.
Wongle. Okay. So that kind of thing we can do for you, and we can do it relatively quickly and easily. So if you feel you're overwhelmed and you're waiting for one of the Wongles or one of your sources to create things for you, we can do the social media content for you.
We could do that collaboratively as well. I think you have maybe better experience creating more professional stuff. We still have these interns who have a lot of promise, but maybe not that kind of skills.
We can do that. We can help you with editing if you need that. Once something is written, to edit it in a way that's presentable, we can do collaborative work like that. So anything you need remotely, we can do. Help.
In my view, I think the way we should look at this is, again, like a pilot from where we can learn and do the bigger ones. So getting to understand your team. So I think what you're suggesting right now is more back-end support. I'm also imagining if we can do. I'm also thinking if we can do some front-end collaborations. For example, reaching out to some of the cities, where you have strengths, and have these Wongsters maybe research about those cities, and give them some incentives to work with those people. So something that can be done.
So now something, if you want to be nimble on your feet, there's this Nagwareri stream cleanup, the second one coming up on 15th and 16th of September. I don't know whether they are ready. You can take that. If you wish, we can add your logo to it, to the posters, and we can add your logo to the video that we are creating as well.
Right. So that's less important. That's less important. What's more important is to understand what you are doing there.
No, but that is important. I'm going to push back against that. It is important because it tells the world you're collaborating. So it's pretty important. I mean, people say, oh, no, that doesn't matter. Don't give me credit. But I have come to realize through years of doing this, it's super important to do that because it pulls people together like it. So, okay, leaving that aside, what you can do is help promote it we can set up a meeting with TK, Timothy Firi from Kamuza Firi from Zambia, and he can maybe give a small presentation to the kids, you know, about what is going on in Zambia with these iconic rivers like the Zambezi. And there's a beautiful phrase in Zambian, in the language, that calls, you know, where the Victoria Falls falls into the rivers, the meeting between, I think it's Zimbabwe and Zambia, and that it's called the smoke that thunders in the local language. So it's the waterfalls and all this smoke, this steam that comes, and it's so loud, it's called the smoke that thunders, Mosa Uatua, right? It's just fantastic. So understanding that kind of thing, also the indigenous sense of what water meant. So there's a word for water in South, the phrase, water is life. So that kind of thing is important to get these feelings about rivers and waters, not just feelings, the sensibility about this, about water, what water means, what landscape means. So we can arrange for a meeting, a Zoom meeting with Timothy, and he can talk to, I think that'll be really beneficial to the kids, right? So that kind of.
So the way, we can and cannot do this, Rosemary, is we cannot have Timothy educate these children or these wongsters. That's against our ethos.
It's about sharing what is happening.
No, I'm just suggesting something. I'm just suggesting, something there. The way we would prefer is, the kind of sensitivity you're demonstrating, the importance of recognizing the impact of nature and feeling these natural resources. If there is a small clip with which we give an introduction and get these students to do their own groundwork, and then meet with Timothy and interact, and then Timothy can also share some clips or talk to them, rather than it coming across as Timothy. So we would like to stimulate them initially, get them a little prepped up, get them more curious and ready, and then have Timothy for the interaction.
I'm not clear about what the distinction is, because it's just, if it's just a matter of time, then I understand it. But if you're saying you need to tell Timothy what he can say and cannot say, that I can't do, because they don't like that. I can tell you right off the bat. Right? I can't tell a grown man what he's going to say about his own rivers and his country. He'll probably talk a lot of stories, which is beautiful. But I, as a foreigner, can't tell him, Tim, you have to say this, you have to say this, you can't say this. I can't do that. If you give,
I understand the sensitivity. And I'm not suggesting that, as much as saying, how does he explain? So it should not be a monologue, it should be more, and if he's getting more questions from the students, and then taking them in that direction, so it's more of that.
Completely fine. They can come up with a set of 10 questions about the Leguere stream, about the pollution, and he can base his story around that.
Yes.
But you also have to give him some freedom to talk about his people, his ancestors.
Absolutely. And that would be very helpful as well. I'm just saying, if it comes, so I need some help initially in stimulating these students to do that research themselves before they meet Timothy. So that's the additional support I'm seeking.
Okay. So can you give me specifics about what that stimuli would be?
I mean, the way you're talking, maybe a small video of yours, talking about why it's so important.
Okay.
I mean, you're very motivating as well,
Yeah. Okay.
And we could end up with a campaign. So we could look at this as a 1 month or a 15-day campaign where they end with telling the world something here. So it'll be a regular engagement that we do with the students, where they get points and they get awarded towards the end, but they do it around this theme.
Okay, so sort of a little motivational clip.
Yes, like it's a motivational clip, and also an idea about what can they investigate, what particular area should they investigate or research about. And then in the end, what should they, what kind of things should they be talking to the world about? These two or three aspects.
Got it. Can you send me a copy of
Yes.
this audio so that I can, so while I'm in the US, I can do that, because one of my close friends is a videographer, and he's coming with us to Hawaii for the ceremony, and he's bringing his camera equipment, so we can do this very easily.
Right. So we have a format through all our engagement, a standard format in which we are running all the communities. It's called activity, forum, and awareness. I mean, there's I just conceptually trying to understand. So activities are, when they are given a quiz or a challenge to research about something, with some sort of background. And they're given about, if we are doing a 15-day thing, then 10 days is dedicated to this. Then we have 1 day of a forum where there is, the idea of the forum is to learn beyond what they've learned by themselves, by getting challenged on what they've learned. Usually it's like that, so the expert comes in and says, hey, what have you understood? Hey, that's not correct, and fills in those gaps. And then they understand about that better. And then in the awareness, they are motivated now to tell the world about what they've understood.
Got it. Are the kids at some, the Vongals at some point? Wongsters. At some
we are
point,
the Vongals. We are the Vongals, like the dongles.
My God, this is too complicated. Okay, anyway, the Vongsters, are they at some point willing to be mentors to other young adults at some point around the globe?
Maybe. I think they would like it. Yeah.
Yes, because it's far better coming from a Vongster in some ways, than I mean it's so I'm thinking of something like a video conference, or even getting three of the Vongsters down here to South Africa, and we get them to tour across South Africa, starting from the Cape, ending in the Lowveld here, going to schools and talking about microplastics in the ocean.
That would be incredible.
And how also it affects terrestrial animals. I have to say that's where most of our work is. So it would have to be some collaboration. Wouldn't that be just amazing? Because
absolutely. So those have been some of our forums in the past also. So our, this is one format, which is like a weekly, bi-weekly, a fortnightly, or a monthly forum. There's a longer format where our contests have ended in like a bigger panel discussion comprising celebrity judges, and they're asking all these students about their views, and they record it, and we make reports about it, and then we share with the world what they have to say.
Yeah. Okay. So all right, that's fantastic. Yeah, I can get those slips to you, maybe 2 or 3 of them, in the second week of September. I can do that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. And I will send you this, whatever I explained to you as a flow again.
Yes.
And also,
what kind of Excel sheet, right? Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. What kind of profiles of people do you have in the team, GIMFER team? If you could just share a bit more about that.
So we have loosely knit teams globally, right? And the demographic is a wide spectrum, from ages ranging from, say, late teens to all the way to people who are in their late 60s, 70s, even, right? And most are women. Most are women. In our close team, in GIMFER's board, we have a young lady from Sri Lanka. We have Timothy Kazu Ferry from Zambia. He may be in his late 30s or early 40s. Then there's myself, and then there's Hale Anderson from California, and he's older. And then there's Nico Eliades from Spain. He's a bit younger, although older than the Vongsters. And then there's Jody from Georgia in the United States. Then there's Nkateko Mzimba, who's younger. She's a local indigenous Black woman who is a wildlife ranger. She's also on our board. In fact, she just sent us this fantastic, I'm going to send this to you. It's such a happy message. I'll just post it on our group, on our collaborative group. This is one of the teams that goes out every month in collab. GIMFA spearheads it and leads it, but it's a collaborative effort. And the children, 10 or 11 or 12 children, go out every month for a 2-day camp out, and they get lots of workshops, like on plastic, on biodiversity, and then they have 4 game drives, right, where they see the animals. So this is what she sent me. This is one of the wildlife rangers. You know, so she's just very dynamic. She's very good on the ground. She's very passionate. Great dancer and singer. So that's the type of person. It's a wide global network, really, of different thoughts and ideas. But we don't have the age group represented by the Wongsters, really. That's not well represented by GIMFA. I mean, they come together, definitely. The Wongsters come together for events, for the global events, you know, but they're not part of the co-organizing and strategizing group. Not that age range, yeah. So.
How many of them are there in GIMFA in terms of numbers, sheer numbers? I mean, you're not talking about all the people, or are you talking about the office bearers right now?
I'm just talking about the office bearers now. In terms of our global numbers, I would have to go and count, because it's a loosely knit group of people who come together for events. So, I mean, if you're counting every single one of them who's ever participated in an event, it's more than 100.
Okay. Now, I'm just wondering if we can, you know, have some sort of a closer relationship. That, you know, some of the GIMFA members could be part of, you know, each of the 20 teams in some way, or one GIMFA member, you know, working with 3 or 4 teams more closely.
Yes, I don't see why not. I can definitely look into that. Yes, we can definitely look into that. When you have your teams all set up, I think that'll be a really good idea to assign people to the various groups, assign a team member. Yeah, I like the idea, definitely. And it'll also build up the collaboration, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds like you know, a good start. You could look at the you know, Excel in detail and share specific comments. You know, we're going to modify that a little bit. Like I said, that we're going to reduce that to 2.5 months rather than the 3 months, and have the last 15 days more on the on-ground activities, and maybe even the 15 days before that, we would prepare more towards the on-ground activity in the end, and extend into the social media outreach after the 3 months.
Okay, so now can you give me a sense of the age group of the Wongsters? Like, what are the
13 to 18-year-old, 13 to 18.
Okay, okay. So so that would be junior year in university as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And the bulk of it is in that
actually we only look at school students. We don't look at, I mean, in India, there are 2 kinds. You know, there are university that starts in when you are 16 as well. So 16, 17 sometimes is also universities, but normally it's after 18 where the university starts. But our rule is that after 18, you're not a Wongster anymore, but you could apply to become a Wongle, which is, you know, people who are enabling things. And we are also shifting that a little bit to say that as an organization, we are not about Wongles. Wongles are going behind the scene more and more. It's a
like
Wongster-driven organization.
Yes.
And even Wongles can sometimes come in the front and participate, you know, as maybe to add more depth to their thinking, or, you know, so we are encouraging more of that.
Yes, no, that's fine. I completely get that. We do have to find a way to hand things over and grow the movement for the future, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, very, very nice. I'll be looking around and identifying about how many teams do you think you'll have? 20?
Yeah, I think we'll have 20
Okay, so I'll
in
look
this
for
round. Like later we are going to have 100, so the 100 cities,
Yes.
whatever we
Yes.
target.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's completely fine, right?
Maybe 15 to 20 is what we are targeting.
So let's look at between 15 and 20. All right, that's good. And when do you plan to have these groups set up?
They're going to be set up by end of September.
End of September. Oh, that's perfect timing, because that gives me like the first and second week of October to get all these people lined up. First week of October. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop recording and then ask you a question. Are we done?
Yeah, absolutely. Unless Vidhi needs to.
Vidhi, anything?
No, ma'am, I was just trying to, interpret what you guys were up to. So I was just writing down the points. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
All right.